round one comes to me for the ever popular Play Shelf Trade. And since it's the May the 4th be with you episode, we've chosen 3 popular Star Wars games. In this segment, we take 3 games and we decide which one we need to play right away. That one is too tempting to leave somewhere on the table. We got to play it. And so that's our play. Shelf, that's a good game. Don't need to play it right away, but it's going to come in handy. We're going to play that one a lot. That's going on the shelf. Trade is get that one out of here. Jettison that one on along the way. So it could be play shelf trade on some Star Wars games. I was trying to think of some Star Wars ways to call it. Yeah, something could be frozen in carbonite. Something could be what, I don't know. Maybe we'll play with that as we go. But the 3 games we have to decide on are Star Wars Rebellion, which, get me if I'm wrong, this is like a Twilight Imperium version of Star Wars, or Star Wars version of Twilight Imperium.
It's a 2-player, but you're combating back and forth, trying to find bases that are hidden and stuff. Yeah.
Thank you. Planet hopping adventure, correct?
Yeah.
Rebellion versus the Empire. The Empire has to find the rebel base, and the rebels are basically what rebels would do. They're trying to be a pain in the side. They're trying to make this thing last longer till they win, correct? Then we also have Star Wars Outer Rim. Daniel would probably call this game more Star Wars adjacent than Star Wars. It has the Star Wars characters. It's a Euro with some pickup and delivery in it, and a little bit of light battling, but that's what it's been called. It's been called Firefly, a thematic Euro.
I think they compare it to Firefly more often. I think
pick up and deliver. Isn't that a Euro? Isn't that a Euro mechanic? So I think that's why I say that. Anyway,
you're a Euro mechanic.
No, that's Guido that works on my car. He's the Euro mechanic. All right. But it does have really cool interaction between the different races that you find in Star Wars, correct? Like if you have Han Solo as your leader, he's automatically going to be on the out with the Hutts. All right. So don't go to Pizza Hut because you can't do that. But other ones like Boba Fett over here would be in really good with the Hutts. So there's your Star Wars Outer Rim. That's what that's like. It doesn't really take place in the Star Wars universe, but it has people from the Star Wars universe in it.
It totally takes place in the Star Wars universe, you idiot.
Oh, so there's a movie where they do all this stuff that they do in the Outer Rim?
Ooh, you suck.
No, it's not, is there? Thank you, Boba. Turn off.
No, it's not based off an exact movie, but it's in the universe.
They've got Tatooine in there. They've got the Kessel.
Yes.
They've got
that's adjacent. That's adjacent.
That's not adjacent.
Thrown in.
Tatooine's in the main movies. John, this is a terrible job hosting this. Go to the next one.
Star Wars: The Deck Building Game. This is a cool deck building game.
What type of game is it?
To me, it has a collectible card game feel, but with the deck building game, because you're battling the other player. You're in a fight against Empire versus the Rebels once again, but it's
the Euro.
It's the Euro because it's deck building. So there you go. Or is it a rondel? Maybe it's a rondel.
John's more of a Spaceballs fan.
Star Wars. Here's my play shelf trade. Just wait till you're on the docket here, Andy. All right. Star Wars Rebellion actually gets me wanting to play one of these kind of big, huge, massive, fill the table kind of a games. I mean, this sounds pretty cool. And so Star Wars Twilight Imperium, no interest. Is it just me that no interest because it's the made up fantasy theme? I know Chris isn't here. The IP makes me want to play it. There's no other reason I would want to play Star Wars Rebellion. But when you're seeing, this is why I say it's more Star Wars adjacent, Andy, if you can shut up for 2 seconds and listen to me. In Star Wars Rebellion, you can actually do things that you're doing in the movies or not do them. It's like, it's up to you. Do I want to send Luke Skywalker off to become a Jedi or not? Maybe I don't want to lose him for however long it's going to take. So you can change what happens in the movies, or you can follow the script of the movie. So that's what sounds really cool about Star Wars Rebellion. That's my play. That sounds really cool. Star Wars Outer Rim. That's the one that I'm leaving on the shelf. Maybe because I don't know what's going on in it. Maybe that's true. But it just sounds like it's a game that can be any theme that they put Star Wars on, and it's not going to have the same feel as Rebellion to me. I think Rebellion is the one. It's like you're playing the movies. That's not what I get from Outer Rim. It sounds like it's the characters from the movies doing something else. So that one's going to be my trade. On the shelf, the Star Wars deck building game sounds like a blast, and that the whole thing about taking the deck building game and adding some combat to it, that I think that's really cool too. So that's going to be my on the shelf. That's one people are going to play a lot. Rebellion, I would probably play once because that's a huge long game. It probably wouldn't get played much. And then Hasta La Vista to Outer Rim. Rob Searing, enlighten us, Rob. You've probably played all these games many times, so tell us what you think
I'm
about it.
ashamed about your review of Outer Rim. I mean, it's clearly you don't know a lick about Outer Rim.
I know what I've seen about it. That's it.
For me, Outer Rim would be to play right now. I love Outer Rim. It's fun. You're all over the place. It is a pick up and deliver game, which is not a Euro mechanic, and very thematic. I mean, you're picking up cargo, delivering it. You're getting bounties. You're fighting. If you're Han, you've got different ships. If you're Han Solo, you can be in the Millennium Falcon. You can have Chewie in there. It's really a lot of fun. It's maybe an hour and a half, depending upon if you got to teach the game. Rebellion would be my game that I would play later. Essentially, Rebellion, you're playing Star Wars: A New Hope. You're trying to find a hidden rebel base. It's you're the good guys versus the bad guys. You've got that mechanic where you're just trying to find that planet, and if you're the rebels, you're trying to hold out as long as you can. It does take a long time to play, and it's a space hog, but it's one that I would play later. It's one that if I had the time and the interest with somebody else, I'd play it. Again, it's going to be 1v1. It's not going to be a lot of people. Deck Builder, that's the one I would trade away, and which is a shame because it's a great game. I love it, but it's missing an expansion. I really want an expansion for it to make it better. And there's a new card game that we'll be talking about, Star Wars themed, that is really popular that I have taken a liking to a little bit better than the Deck Builder. So that's my three.
Isn't the Deck Building game the newest one of those three?
No, the one that shall be named later came out here just recently.
No, but it is of these three.
It's the newest of the Rebellion, Outer Rim, and Star Wars Deck Builder.
Out of the play shelf trade, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Hey, Rob, I got to mention, you said it takes you an hour to 2 hours to play Outer Rim. I need to play it with you because last time I played it with Randy, Phillip, and Trevor, it took us 6 hours to play this game.
They don't know. They think it's a Euro. They don't know. They're trying to. Yeah, I don't think they know the game. You're probably having to teach it every single time you play with them.
Well, I'll have to play it with you next time because that was crazy. All right, Andy, what do you got?
I think you're thinking of Twilight Struggle, not Twilight Imperium, when you're comparing it to something, because it is a two-player big battle game. And so here's the thing. I've got Twilight Struggle. I have yet to play it. I've got War for the Ring, or is it War for the Ring? It's War for the Ring, 2nd edition. I've got that on my shelf, which is another, two-player war game that I have not played yet. So I think Rebellion probably, from looking at it, fits in these categories, and I really want to get these played. I just haven't done it yet. So I want to keep Rebellion. I'm going to put it on my shelf. I got to get it played, but it seems like, I'm going to go with the collective wisdom of our friends at BGG, and that it's highly ranked. I think it's ranked 13th or 14th or something overall. It's very highly ranked. I'm very curious to get into more of these longer two-player games, and I think I would really like them. But for whatever reason, I have not gotten them to the shelf, or to the table, rather, I should say. They're on the shelf. So that's going to be my keep. My shelf is going to be Rebellion. The next one is going to be hard for me to come up with, because the truth is that a pick up and deliver mechanic has traditionally not been one that has gone over well with me. One game that I thought I liked for a long time was Islebound, that was pick up and deliver, and I just kind of got tired of it. And I'm trying to think if I've really gotten into any other pick up and deliver games. So I'm not sure that Outer Rim is one that I'm going to keep. I'm really torn on it. I do have a little bit more hope, since Rob tells me it can be played in an hour or two. Like Daniel said, I saw people playing it at this gamer retreat for 4 or 6 hours, and I was like, this is insane. And it also seemed like it was a little bit too cooperative. I don't know if that's really the case, but there was I don't know why. It seemed like it was just a little too much for me. So I'm torn on that. The collectible card game, the Deck Builder, rather, I've played that. It was all right. It seemed just okay. It seemed like just another. Honestly, if it wasn't for the theme, I think Star Realms is actually probably better. than the Star Wars deck builder. But if you're a big Star Wars fan, you might like the deck builder better. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of either. I'm kind of at a point with deck builders that I really need much more going on than just deck building. Dominion just burnt me out years ago, and so I don't know. And then, and as alluded to before, we've got this new Star Wars game that really plays a lot better than the deck builder. So I'm really torn. I guess I got to get Outer Rim played. I'd probably trade away the deck builder. I agree with you. It needs an expansion or something, but it seems like it's just totally in the shadow now of Star Wars Unlimited, which we're going to talk about. And it's weird that it came out like that. And I know, John, you said that IPs draw you to games. They scare me away more often than not because I just don't know what's going to be chaff. There's so much that's chaff out there that has an IP with it. But this Star Wars Unlimited, I'm excited to talk more about that.
Well, to clarify, it's not that the IP necessarily always draws me to a game, but to a game of this type, I would want an IP, is what I'm saying. It's like it gives me some familiarity instead of trying to dive into this huge long game of things I have known nothing about. I have something in there. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I know these two like each other. I know these are foes. I know these. There's so much already going in that you're not trying to learn. I think that's what intrigues me about that kind of a game. If it's going to be a long game like that you already know so much about it.
I take back my earlier. Outer Rim cannot be played in an hour, so it's probably a 2-3 hour game. But deck, Andy, you brought up a really good point about deck builder. Is a lot of people compare it to Star Realms, and I would argue it's better. I think being able to actually attack the cards in the center row adds a different mechanic that Star Realms doesn't have. Being able to take cards away from the pool for other people to pick them is, I think, cool, but at the end of the day, it is another deck builder that shares a lot with Star Realms and Hero Realm.
And like you said, maybe I'd feel differently if there were more expansions and they developed it more. But again, it seems like, and forgive me, I guess I haven't looked this up. Are these all Fantasy Flight stuff? Are they all?
Yes.
Surprises me about the deck builder. Fantasy Flight's all about expansions, right? I'm surprised one hasn't hit yet. Deck builder.
I'm actually surprised that they came out with the deck builder and also came out with Marvel or Star Wars Unlimited. That was a little surprise to me.
One more thing real quick. Andy, I think it's hilarious that you want Star Wars Rebellion to go on your shelf next to those other games like it that you don't play either. I just love
Hey. There's a part of me that, like our friend Chris, also realizes the value in a very popular game that's worth a lot of money. And I believe Rebellion is probably worth the most out of all those games. So there you go.
So that should have been another reason to trade it. Whatever. And that's enough of you guys. Okay.
All right.
So my trade is actually going to be Star Wars deck building game. And I'm going to trade that because I do enjoy deck builders, but Legendary is my favorite. So it would be hard for me to play anything past Legendary. But if I had to play something quicker and easier to get out, I'm going to play Shards of Infinity. This game is like Star Realms, and it has that attack the middle. But if you don't attack it, what you do is you recruit from the middle. So it is a way to take, it's like a one-time use from the middle, which really elevates that. And I think Star Wars deck building kind of does something along those lines. You attack the middle, so it has that. But this game is better in my opinion, and I don't really have a desire to play Star Wars deck building game. My shelf is going to be Outer Rim. I actually played it. It took us 6 hours, which was incredibly too long, but I really enjoyed what I was doing there. It really felt like I was in a Star Wars movie, John, because I was a bounty hunter. I was just going from one side of the galaxy to the other. I was avoiding the Imperials and trying to, cozy up to the Hutts. There's a lot of really cool things going in there, and you run into Luke Skywalker, and you run into Chewbacca, and you become friends with Darth Vader. That's just
I missed that movie, I guess.
Just like the movies, that's right. And then, so that's going to be my shelf. And my play is Rebellion. I played it one time with our friend Ben Mora, and it was during a Super Bowl party when I didn't used to care about Super Bowls because the Chiefs weren't winning. And we played it, and it was fun. I enjoyed it, but it didn't really scream at me to play it again. I like these area control conflict games. They're usually ones that I like playing. But for whatever reason, when I was done with that one, I didn't go, I need to play it again. But, 6 years changes a lot of things. So maybe I would like it more. So I do want to give it a play one more time to see if my opinions on it have changed at all. So there we go.
Got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, I got him.
Hey,
Oh, yeah,
John.
and you know what? Wait. Hold on. And you know what they all share in common?
They're all about Star Wars.
Insert here has an insert for all three of those games.
Very nice.
Nice. Now,
That's cool.
do you really need an insert for the deck building game? I get the other two, but
Dude. Well, you know what? A lot of these card games don't account for people that like to sleeve them. So a lot of them will account for cards, but not sleeve.
That makes sense.
okay,
Makes
that's
sense.
fair.
Cool. All right. Well, I think that wraps that up. Which game would you like to play shelf and trade out of those three? Star Wars Rebellion, Star Wars Outer Rim, Star Wars the deck building game. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe, and also let Andy know how you feel. And we'll be
join
back
us
now.
in insulting John about his description of Outer Rim.
There you go.
That was
Tell me
hard.
what movie that happened in, please. All right, now on to round two. Thank you for watching this clip from Around the Board. If you'd like to watch the full episode, please click on the link down below. Around the Board is essentially a game show featuring 4 board game enthusiasts that discuss board game topics and news in a competitive format. Whoever wins gets to talk about whatever he wants at the end of the show. So please join us, won't you, around the board.